Hello, welcome to the channel and the next recipe in this series, which uses hot peppers in unique ways that are canning safe so you can enjoy your peppers year round. If you grow a few plants, you can get a good bunch of peppers with different heat levels and flavor profiles. Today's hot sauce is easy, simple, unique, and versatile. If you like maple syrup, it's not just for pancakes and waffles. Today we make delicious maple hot sauce.
Yeah, boy!
So you're going to need a blender, 2 cups of maple syrup, 8 Scotch bonnet peppers, 1.5 cups cider vinegar. Optional is 3 tablespoons of maple sugar, 4 cloves of garlic, a half teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon salt, and this makes about 3/4 of a liter, almost just under a liter, so over 3.5 cups. So first thing you want to do is get some water boiling into an appropriate container and get the maple syrup in there to make it truly liquid. The prep is very easy in this recipe. So what you do is cut the stump ends off your garlic and take the garlic, cut it into quarters, set it aside. When working with peppers, it's highly recommended to use gloves, and even so, when you get the gloves off, scrub your hands thoroughly. So you take the stems off your peppers, halve your peppers, then go about removing the seeds and membranes. Once you have the seeds and membranes removed, you can quarter your peppers if you like and set them aside. So into the blender with the Scotch bonnets and garlic, and 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar. And you're going to want to pulse up this mixture into a very fine blend, as fine as you can get it. And pour it off into a pot and just set it aside for the moment. Very fast recipe, so you want to get your water bath canner onto the stove and boiling. While you're doing that, you scrub out your jars, lids, and ring bands thoroughly. Get the jars into the boiling water for a 20-minute water bath boil, so they're ready for canning. So while that's been happening, we've brought the sauce up to heat. Reduce the heat to let it simmer for 15-20 minutes. Now we're gonna go about and we're gonna add in the rest of the ingredients. So 2 cups of maple syrup, and you can see just how liquidy it gets, and you don't waste a drop. I've measured out 3 tablespoons of maple sugar. Now, might not always be available in the supermarket, but you can always check in the health food aisle or at a health food store. They will sometimes have it. I just find it adds in that much more maple flavor. One teaspoon of canning salt and a half teaspoon of black pepper. Mix that in thoroughly, turn the heat up, bring it to a gentle boil, reduce the heat down, and simmer that for 20 minutes. So the sauce is ready, the jars are ready, and we'll begin canning. Jars are nice and piping hot. This way they won't get a shock when they go into the water bath canner. And get your utensils in for a quick boil. This one's fairly liquid. I will not have to use the ladle, so just pour it in. When you're pouring it in or ladling it in, just make sure that you're coming up to the bottom of the ring band threads, leaving 3/4 of an inch or so for proper headspace and sealing of the jars. If you manage to get some sauce when you're loading jars for canning onto the rims, clean them off with a paper towel thoroughly. Take your lids and ring bands, get them into the boiling water. This will soften up the gum on the lids for a good seal. And between the jars being boiled and the hot sauce that's in them, careful, the jars are really hot. So just try to position your ring bands and then grab an oven mitt or a tea towel so that you can give them a nice tight snug. Just like that, back into the water bath canner they go for a 15-minute water bath boil. Now this sauce is really, really useful. You can use it with chicken wings. You can candy bacon with it. I'm going to pour some off on the side here for immediate use and testing. And we got a sampler. So you can see it's fairly thin. When you go to use it and you break open a jar, you can thicken this sauce. This is great on glazed ham, pork chops, etc. There we go, maple flavor. And it's fire. So I have an idea. We'll just see for you maple syrup drinkers out there. Yeah, I think I got something here. So I think I got a shooter that will rival Fireball. So 15 minutes later, out of the water bath canner they go. And as you can see, I've jarred up 3/4 of a liter, and I've got just under a liter of sauce. So what you choose to jar is up to you. And this recipe came in at 3.95 pH. They say under 4.6 is okay. I like in around 4.0. And I imagine the recipe could be doubled as well. So if you like this recipe, give us a like. For more recipes utilizing hot peppers, subscribe to follow. And thanks for watching. See you again soon.